I make more money in crashes than I do when they go up. So, but for the average person, they'll get wiped out. I'm afraid at the worst, I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're heading for a global depression.
In a recent interview, Robert Kiyosaki, the renowned financial educator and author, expresses his concerns about the state of the global economy. Kiyosaki points out that the world is currently facing unprecedented challenges, and he believes that we are on the brink of a global depression. He highlights the interconnectedness of the world economy, the impact of social media, and the lack of financial education as factors contributing to the potential crisis. Despite his own anticipation of making profits in such a situation, Kiyosaki expresses genuine worry for the average person who may suffer severe financial losses. This interview delves into Kiyosaki's views and insights regarding the potential global depression.
I knew this time was coming, and we as a world have never been here before. And so is it a spooky time? Damn yeah. It is probably the most dangerous time ever. There's nothing to compare it to, because there's never been a world economy before. For example, 100 years ago, there was a stock market crash in England, didn't affect anybody. Now the US goes down, the world goes down. So plus with social media and all this we're doing now, and so we've never been here before. And I'm excited about it because I make more money in crashes than I do when they go up. So, but for the average person, they'll get wiped out. I'm afraid at the worst, I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're heading for a global depression.
Global depression?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Depression. I mean, people are depressed. The economy stays down, it's hard to come back up. And now the good news is that for those who are prepared for it, like you and things like this, you'll do better. See, not everybody dies in a plane crash, some plane crashes.
Robert Kiyosaki's perspective on the potential global depression acknowledges the unique circumstances we face and the profit opportunities that arise during market crashes, which may be controversial to some. He emphasizes the importance of financial preparedness and education, cautioning against complacency. While his optimism may contradict widespread fear, individuals should stay informed, adaptable, and seek opportunities amidst economic uncertainties, regardless of their alignment with Kiyosaki's views.
But the last crash in 2008, I was on Wolf Blitzer's program 6 months before Lehman Brothers went down, and I said Lehman was going down. And nobody listened, but it went down. And so I've been expecting this market to go down for quite a while. And I'm concerned about my fellow human beings. But as you know, most Americans are clueless. They don't know what's going on. But if you travel the world, I just got back from Africa, and China, and Japan, and New Zealand. People are scared. Australia hasn't had a recession in 30 years, it's in recession. But Americans are fat, dumb, and happy, having a good time, which is good. But I'm concerned, that's all I can say. I'd be afraid if I had kids. I think as an adult, you can go hungry, but you don't want to see your kids go hungry. And that's what's going to happen.
Do you think it's going to get that bad?
Yeah. And the US dollar is fake. Never in the history of the world has any fake money ever survived. And we're doing the same thing. We just keep printing this money. And when I wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad almost 25 years ago, people said I didn't know what I was talking about. I said savers would be losers. Now, today there's quantitative easing, which is counterfeiting money. And then you have zero interest rates. And people are still saving money. Are you nuts? They just printed, I think, $500 billion in September of this year because the repo market is going down. And the average guy goes, well, what's the repo market? They don't know.
Robert Kiyosaki expressing his concern for the current state of the economy and the lack of awareness among many Americans. He predicts a potential market crash and emphasizes the consequences it may have on individuals and their families. Kiyosaki criticizes the continuous printing of money and the reliance on fake currency, pointing out the historical failure of such practices.
So that's why it's fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. Our education system, it has been my rant forever. Why don't we teach people about money? Why is it? We all use money, but we don't teach people about it. So that's why I'm concerned, and I wrote this book, Who Stole My Pension? It's already sold out. But I wrote Who Stole My Pension because it was the reason I wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. The two authors here, me and myself, Edward Siddell, we both had dads who lost everything. And when I was in my 20s and my poor dad lost everything, it scarred me. And I said, I'm never gonna let anybody ever do that to me. So I had just come back from Vietnam in '73. My dad was unemployed, poor dad was unemployed, and he tells me to go fly for the effing airlines. I said, are you kidding me? And he says, go back to school, get your master's and get your PhD. I said, are you kidding me? Here the guy is unemployed. He's got no pension, he's got no paycheck, and he's telling me to go back to school. I said, what, learn nothing? You know, and those guys who, you know, my friends who flew for United Airlines, they're broke today. Their pensions were stolen. And Americans, oh, I wonder how my 401k is doing. I'm going, gee, I'd be a little bit worried, but they don't know. Americans live in a fishbowl, you know, everybody sees in, but Americans can't see out. So like I travel the world constantly, and what I see going on in the world is disturbing. I was just in Argentina, and I took my kid brother there, and he came back a changed man. He says, you weren't kidding, were you? I said, no, I wasn't. And my brother could not believe that what happens in Argentina is going to happen here. So the fear today, I think people are a little bit wiser, is because they do remember 2008, and they do remember 2000. So 2008, 2008, and here we are today. So I think most people are at least kind of tuned in. I hope it doesn't come down, but I'm afraid it will. But I want to say what you did was really, really smart, because the best time to start a business is right after a crash. I made more money after 2008 than ever in my whole entire life, because everybody was hiding like little cockroaches.
Wow, you made more money after 2008 than your entire life.
Yeah, so when, you know, here I'm talking about the coming depression, everybody says, oh, you're such a pessimist, you know. I'm going, no, I'm excited. You know, I guess it's really stimulating thinking about all the bargains that are going to be on the street, you know what I mean? It's going to be bargains everywhere. But everybody else, oh, you're pessimistic. No, I'm actually optimistic.
While Robert Kiyosaki